Welcome to another episode of Talking eBay. This is a podcast, and we're going to be talking today on 20 best places to source inventory on eBay, or in general, where do you find stuff on eBay? Pros and cons, things like that. So that's what this episode's about. It's around 30 to 40 minutes long. This is a podcast, again, on where to find best place to source items for eBay and the pros and the cons about those specific items. So if you're looking to start an eBay business and you're not sure where to find items, this podcast is for you. If you're just starting out, let me know. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's all I ask for payment from you, is just to help me out and just subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like and share. So if you're looking to learn about eBay, and if you're on the fence on selling on eBay, but you're not sure where to get inventory or what to do and how to start out, well, I'm going to give you some advice. Going to give you some information, and also going to give you my opinion. I've been selling on eBay since 1999. I started out when I was younger, and when the Beanie Babies were popular, Pokemon first came out, and if I wish I had some of those Charizards today that I sold for like $20, they're worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm very depressed about that, so that's just the way it goes. You know, you take the good and the bad. The Beanie Babies have made a lot of money with that, and again, you find these trends, you find these things that happen with eBay. But depending what you like, if you like stamp collecting, if you like coins, take your hobby, take your interest, and apply it to eBay. Okay, and if it's anything at all like that, and if you're a crafter, if you're selling like on Etsy or something like that, you can do it on eBay as well. So eBay is really a cool marketplace. What I love about eBay the best is that they really are there to help you. They back you up if you have any issues, and you can talk to somebody. They don't leave you in the cold. They're always there to help you, and that's what I love about eBay. And that's really important. So let's talk about the places to source inventory on eBay. So yes. So the first number one is, of course, garage sales. Garage sales are one of the best places to find things, because most of the time people don't know what they have, or they don't care what they have. They just want to get rid of it. A lot of times, I've been to a lot of, I don't know if you've been to these yard sales. If you have, let me know some comments down below. If people say to you, they have things marked. This is stupid, right? You go there and they say, oh, this VCR, I found it on eBay. It's worth like $90, and they have a price on it. eBay price $90. And I look at them saying, what makes you think this is worth $90? Well, I saw it on eBay. Did you see the sold? Did you look at the specs? Did you see the condition? Was it a seller? Was it free shipping? You just can't do that. So a lot of people, and don't get frustrated about that, because that can happen. It's been less lately, but sometimes you will come across that. But generally, yard sales are awesome. So what are the pros? Easy to find yard sales. Cost of product is super low. A wide variety of items. And ability to bargain for a lower price, right? So you can bundle. So always bundle when you go to a yard sale. People love bundling. Put a bunch of things together. Put a VCR together with a couple of pocketbooks, a couple of jackets, a couple of this, a couple of that. Put them all together. Say, think in your head, a couple bucks a piece. If you have 10 items, so I'll give you $20. And they'll say, oh, no, that's too low. And they'll go back. Maybe they'll come back at 40. Say, let's just meet in the middle, 25. And believe me, you did really well. The VCR can probably sell for like $75 to $100, depending on the model. So definitely bundling is a really good tip. I'm going to give you that's a pro tip. Definitely bundle. Don't be afraid. The more you put in, the less money it's going to cost you. And that's a really good tip. So if you see a bunch of stuff that may be okay, even if some of it's junk, take the chance, take a risk. What are you going to spend, $25, $30? And you got about 25, 30 items, so a buck a piece, right? So there you go. That's a really good idea. The cons, again, what's bad about that? Seasonal, depending on the area, weather, can be full of junk, waste of time. So there's always pros and cons and everything. But I think the yard sales the garage sales are probably, in my opinion, probably one of the best things. The second thing is estate sales. So estate sales can be really good as well. Estate sales have availability to look at the products in a nice environment. Again, people who do know how to price items, so they know what they're doing, but also what you're doing, and everybody knows everything. I was at an estate sale recently. It was the last day, the last 3 hours. I walked in there, and I saw a VCR. They wanted 20. It was half price, so for $10, which is the bargain. I sold that for 90. And then they had an oil can for like $1, and I sold that for 60. So they don't know everything. So don't be afraid to go into an estate sale and buy things. Look them up. Take your phone with you. You have the best tool in the world, which is your phone. So you can look up a lot of stuff. You get an inventory is always is higher quality items, likelihood to find rare and hard to find items, ability to preview and scope out and plan of attack. Okay, so that's really cool too. So if you're with somebody like a partner or somebody you're with, you guys tag team it, and you can just really, really ramp it up. And you can bundle there too. Say, listen, I got a bunch of stuff here. What can you do for me? And they will. Don't be afraid to ask. That's really super important. Never be afraid to ask, because you got to realize you make your money, and I'm sure you heard this before, on the buy. So the less you pay, the least you pay, least you have the better chance of making some money, right? So if you paid a lot of money for something and then your margins are really tight, and then you're sweating it, you don't want that to happen. What are the cons against that? The price of your items, things are more expensive, and crowded spaces. I don't know if you've ever been to an estate sale. They're crowded. People are busy. Everyone's on top of everyone. Everyone's grabbing, right? So that's why I always go the last day. It's always half price. And again, not everybody knows everything. I walked out of there with the projector. I walked out of there with a VCR, an oil can, another couple, like 4 or 5 things. About 6 things I paid. I think I paid $30. I already sold the VCR for $100. I sold the oil can for $60. I have a projector on for $150. So I got like $600-700 worth of stuff for like $35. So don't be afraid. Definitely look into it. Look at my channel. Look at all my videos. I have a lot of tips on there on buying products. So that's really cool. And just let you know, you are listening to Talking eBay. This is the podcast, podcast number 2, I guess I would call this. And I just want you, so you can just sit back and listen to my experience and my understanding about eBay. And hopefully I can help you, motivate you, and also give you some information to be successful on eBay. And that's what it's all about. So leave any questions you have down below in this podcast. Also, don't forget to enter my contest. When I get to 500 subscribers, I will be giving away an eBay branded tumbler, stainless steel. Really nice. So check out that video first. You have to say I'm in on a specific video. So check that out. I'll leave at the end of this podcast, I'll leave some information about that, and definitely check that video out. But you have to find the video that says free giveaway, and also have to type in I'm in, and you must subscribe to be qualified for that. So I appreciate that. Okay, so what's the next place? So next place is a marketplace. Marketplace is what? Facebook, Craigslist, things like that, where you can buy and sell groups, even online, right? Facebook groups or out on the field, things like that, right? That's another really good place to find items. Very reasonable. I've seen many ads, free this and free that. Okay, I picked up. Everybody knows the old. I don't know if you remember the old brick cell phones. It was the old-fashioned ones that Radio Shack used to have. Those like they called it a brick phone. Look it up. Lady had one for sale. She goes, free. Just come and get it. So I went to pick it up. It was a brick phone, no problem. Came with the instructions. Came with everything. I sold that for $150. It was free. All right, I picked up a clock maybe about a month ago. Lady goes, doesn't work, this, that. I take it apart. I look at it. The key was just jammed inside. Take the key out, wound it up. Works fine. That's worth $100. So there's a lot of free stuff on Facebook and Craigslist, and also on marketplaces. So definitely take a look at those as well. So what are the pros? Availability to search from your comfort of your home. That's the best thing. I love that. Bargains are still possible. Like I just told you, things could be free and can lead to more sales and networking, because networking is the key to success. Networking and your product, buying the product at the right price. Those are really, really important. Meeting a strange place can be very scary. Item maybe not be what you expect it to be. And things like that can be broken, things like that. So those are the pros and cons about marketplaces, right? But for the most part, my experience has been very good, and I've had no issues. If it's junk, I won't pick it up. I'll leave it there. And if it's free, what do you got to lose? Take it apart. I even sell parts. Take it apart and sell the parts. You'd be surprised. There's money in everything, pretty much everything. So the next thing is really cool, a flea market. So you wouldn't think a flea market might be the best place, but sometimes it's really good. A wide variety of items to buy, easy to bargain again than other platforms. What are the cons? Can be seasonal depending on weather. Same idea. Too hot in the summertime. I've been to some hot ones. You give up too early. Also can be filled with wholesale goods and produce vendors and all that kind of stuff like that. So you got to kind of pick and choose which one is good for you. So definitely look around, see what they have, and you'd be surprised. You can pick up some things. I picked up a lot of cool stuff at flea markets. That at the end of the day, the vendors are going home and they want to sell the stuff. They don't want to lug it back home. You got to realize that. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to not lowball, but give them a fair price, and things like that. So next thing, church sales, great place. Like go to church bazaars, go to church sales. The season is coming now. That there's tons of them. They have tons of inventory. Their prices are very low. I've gotten tons of good stuff at church sales. I mean, just amazing. You can get so many cool things. So definitely go to church bazaars, church sales, whatever's in your area that has that seasonal thing, do it. The cons are sometimes it's filled with lots of junk, of course. Worn clothing, be careful of that. It can be crowded and hard to walk through, which is very, very true. Another one is Goodwill outlet. Online Goodwill, they have Goodwills, they have Savers, they have Morgan Memorial, whatever you want to call it. They're out there, they're everywhere. You can pop in there. They're getting a little bit pricey over the years. I've noticed they're just they know what we're doing, and they're trying to capitalize themselves, which I understand. Again, they don't know everything. I've gotten many, many, many good things at Goodwills, Savers, outlets, doesn't really matter. Online, in person, doesn't really matter. The pros are lots of variety of inventory, very cheap at cost. Sometimes it can be cheap. A big variety of items, but they can be. They carry a ton of stuff, right? They just carry so much stuff, but you have to be careful to make sure you're not buying junk. A lot of it can be broken. A lot of it's pricey. Cons, outlets can be a little wild and crazy. The bins, never been there, but I hear they're crazy. Watch out for broken glass. Sharp objects, dirty clothes, needles, things like that. You have to be careful. Make sure you wear gloves and protect yourself, especially in the bins. That's a thing I'm going to tell you about. Another thing is charity, mom and pop thrift stores. Another thing is really good. Pros and cons. Prices are generally cheaper, easy to find items, same idea. Just going to be careful, again, when you're dealing with products. So another really good one is moving sales. So these people are moving, and they just say they're liquidating, or it's not an estate sale. It's not really a yard sale, but that's a moving sale. So you have to put the keyword in, let's say Facebook looking for moving sales. They have a large amount of inventory. Sometimes it's a lot of big items. Owners are extremely motivated to sell items. Good deals can be had there very easily. And don't be afraid that any of these places, all the yard sales, estate sales, forget Goodwill, always ask them, if you're looking for a specific thing, do you have this item? I would go to a yard sale and say, oh, do you have any more cameras? Oh, do you have any more VCRs? Or do you have any more electronics? And they'll say to me, oh yeah, I have this thing here I forgot about, and you'll get that too. So that's another pro tip for you. Don't be afraid to ask. Always ask. If you don't see it, ask. Oh, do you have any of these? Oh, we have it this morning. Sorry. So now you know they had it, and you just kind of move on from that. Another good one is Craigslist. We talked about that. We can move on that. That's Craigslist, same idea. Things like that. Let's see what else I'm thinking about. OfferUp. I don't have luck with OfferUp or Let Go. I don't think that's really my favorite. So I just say, just be careful with that. Watch what you're doing with that. But it's okay. A lot of it's junk. Again, you can now eBay and Mercari. We call these flips. So you can flip on eBay to eBay, on Mercari to eBay, and vice versa. So what that means is basically you can go on eBay and find something that someone maybe doesn't know what you know. As you learn, as you go down this journey on learning, being educated about eBay, and you can say, oh wow, I found this item that's selling for $80, and they only want $20 for it. Grab it. You can sell it for $80. So that's eBay to eBay, Mercari to eBay, all that kind of stuff. You can find and source within the platform, and that's a really good. I'm going to actually do an in-depth video on that, actually, flipping on eBay. So I'm going to do that. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll do an actual video on that. This is just a podcast, but I'll talk about that, and we'll show examples, and I'll give you all the information there is to know about selling on eBay, music, different things you can. If you really can learn a lot of stuff real easy. So definitely. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be taught about that. Goodwill, Savers, we talked about that. Friends and family. Now, this is something that people don't think about. A lot of times, I hear it all the time. Oh, I just got rid of all my stuff. I got a dumpster. And you sit there and you say to yourself, what? You got a dumpster and I'm starting a business? Ask your friends. Oh, if you're getting rid of anything, let me know. I'm starting a small business. Don't be afraid to tell them. So I'm starting a small business. I'd like to get some inventory. If you want to get rid of anything, I'll be glad to take it. And they would love to do that. They give you the stuff for no charge. Just, yeah, take my stuff. It's okay. You're helping me out. You're helping someone else out. So friends and family, a really good idea to get to inventory. You don't have to spend a lot of time. If it's no good, just let them know, and you can help them out. Say, you know what, just don't want to take all this stuff. And if you want to give them a few bucks, you can do that. It's okay. So that's really a good idea. I do like the friends and family idea. I like that. Want ads. Again, that's more for pro. You can place ads looking for electronics, looking for antiques, looking for coins, things like that. So there's all ways of doing that, especially on Facebook today. It's pretty much free. Years ago, you used to pay for ads, but now you don't really have to. Storage units and auctions. Storage units I'm afraid of. Okay, I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of massive stuff. It can be a lot of junk, and you need a lot of manpower and money to buy these places. So I'm going to say to you, starting out, stay away from storage units unless you really want to dive into a small one. Maybe that's okay. But I think I'd stay away from that right now. That's just, I get nervous with that. There's different ones you can look to. Auction Zip. Storage Treasures, storageauctions.com. There's a ton of them out there, and everything is everywhere. There's no more secrets anymore when it comes to sourcing. Everything's online. So you're listening to this podcast, you're learning, you're going to write these things down, and hopefully you'll take some action. And let me know, leave some comments, please. It really means a lot to me. Don't forget to like the video. That means a lot too. Helps with the algorithm, and it helps me so everybody else can reach a larger audience with my podcast. Okay, live auctions. I do some live auctions myself that can be pretty cool. Again, online, Goodwill, Blue Box, whatever, all these places. There's a ton of them online. You can find so many. So definitely do that, do the work, and do the research. And you can, I've lost out on some auctions, but I'm not going to overpay. And you know your margin, you know your shipping, know your margin, know your costs. Okay, those things are super important. I made videos about that. Shipping's important. You have to know what it's going to cost you, things like that. Big box stores, I don't know. Home Depot, you can make money. Lowe's, Walmart, things like that, you can make money, but it's a little difficult. I find it hard to do that, especially, especially now that it gets just more complicated. People just like, they want certain things, and it's just very, very difficult. But there are people who do it. I see these TikTok videos. They're finding stuff for a penny at Home Depot. I can't find them. Let me know if you can find something for a penny at Home Depot. I couldn't do it. Again, you have brand products, high quality items. You can do that, but if you find one, great. Your home, do your home. Look in your home, see what you have. That's like the best thing I'm going to tell you to start out with. Go in your home, look around, see what you have that you don't want anymore, and sell it. Get rid of it. Not so much get rid of it, but put it on. Learn how to do it. Get the feedback. Learn how to sell on eBay. Like I said, I've been doing it since 1999. Sold tons and tons and tons, hundreds of thousands of dollars in items over the years, and had a lot of success. I have 100% feedback on my channel, and I'm very proud of what I do. I never try to tell somebody. I always very, very honest. I take good photos, great description. Doesn't matter if it's ripped. I've sold ripped things, broken things. I've said a lot of things, and it doesn't really matter. I have a clock on now that I have a clock that I thought it was working great, and I just found out now it doesn't chime every quarter hour, only every hour, but it's supposed to chime every quarter hour. So I'm going to sell that clock. I'm going to slash the price. I'm still going to make money on it because I only paid $5 for it. I'll sell it for $60. It's worth $120 working perfectly, so I'll sell it for $60, but I'll tell them it does not chime on the quarter hour, only hour. I'll make a video, and I'll be very, very clear and transparent, and people still want these things, so don't be afraid to do that. Don't try to hide things. Don't try to cover things up. Don't ship things like crap. Do it right, because it's going to pay you back later with good feedback. The better feedback, people trust you, and things like that. So definitely from your own home, get some stuff. Clothing, small kitchen appliances are real popular. Unopened cosmetics, huge. Video games, big deal. That's a really good thing. All the kids' clothes, kids' Christmas things, old unopened Christmas stuff, birthday gifts. You want to get rid of it? Sell it on eBay. The way to go, 100%. It helps declutter your home, unwanted items, no cost, no upfront cost sourcing for you. It's really cool. Another thing is antique malls. No, yes, I have done antique malls. So these are really good things, guys. Write these down. Antique malls is a great place. I've found some things. A lot of times they're overpriced. I would say 90% of the time they're overpriced, but again, not everybody knows everything, and you'd be surprised you can pick up a couple things here and there. Some kind of cool stuff, nostalgic stuff. You can always ask for a discount. I've done that. Don't be afraid. If you see the guy who's running the booth there, hey, let's do a bundle deal. What can you give me a little break on? Listen, he wants to sell this stuff. If he was going to sell it on eBay, he'd have it on eBay. He wouldn't even be there. Think about that, right? So he has a small, tiny audience. You have a global marketplace. So you can make a little bit more money if you think that way. And that's really important. Okay, so those are the tips I have for you. So what do you think about that? Let me know. Leave me some comments down below. Learn to negotiate. Look in unlikely places. That's a really good tip, right? Step outside the comfort zone. Don't be afraid. Sourcing is an adventure. It really is. Have a lot of fun. Take a trip, take a road trip. Learn how to do it. It's so fun and so exciting when you find the cool stuff. Like when you look at the most unlikely places, when you walk into like a antique store and then you see like a $500 item there and they only want $100 for it. Grab that sucker for $100 and flip it for $500. It's that easy sometimes. It really can be. Look in the most unlikely places. So I'm going to leave you with one more story before I wrap up this podcast. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is Talking eBay. We're doing a podcast. I try to do podcasts maybe every 2 or 3 weeks. It's been kind of bogged down, but I want to just make these available to you so you can sit back, relax, and listen and just understand pretty much how to sell at eBay. So eBay is one of those platforms that I think it's probably the best in the marketplace as far as starting out, especially for beginning new entrepreneurs who want to dabble their feet and are afraid to do it and they're not sure what to do. eBay makes it super simple. So ask me any questions at all if you're not sure. So I'll leave you with this last story. So I went to an estate sale. Again, last day, last couple of hours. And I walk in with my wife, and we're looking around, and we see, and that phone wasn't working because the service was awful, which is the biggest nightmare, right? And you're sitting there, and we're looking around, and we seen all these different clowns. There's a lot of things left over in a little cabinet, and there's little tiny metal clowns. And my wife said, "Oh, I love these little clowns. They're so cute, and they're metal. They're really cool. They're different." So I said to the lady, "How much are the clowns?" And so we made a bundle deal. So I went back. It's like $50 or $60 she wanted, or $80, I forget. It was like 5 or 6 little ones. So I went back in, and she had a bunch of Italian, like what do they call the Italian? The Italian glass. I forget. It's slipped out of my head. You know what I'm talking about. So they had those glass ones and clowns, and then they had the little metal clowns. So I said, "Can you bundle all these clowns together?" There we go. The bundle word, right? I'll take all these clowns for you for $50. She goes, "Sure." Okay, so I got like $100 worth of stuff for $50. Okay, perfect. So I take all this stuff, I wrap up all the clowns. She helped me wrap everything up in the bubble wrap, the little tiny clowns I took home, and I'm looking up these little clowns. And these little clowns are made out of metal. And I'm saying, these are really interesting, and they're all like hand painted, and they're really nice. And I'm looking at these clowns, saying this. I'm looking at them in a magnifying glass, and I saw a stamp, 925. What do you mean? These are all sterling silver, and I see a maker's mark. And I did research on the internet, and I used WorthPoint because I have WorthPoint to do some research to really deep dive into really knowing your stuff. These were a specific clown that were made in the 70s. They're all sterling silver that were worth a fortune. I sold that 5 little clowns for $2,000. Okay, and then I sold the other glass clowns later on. So again, they just sat there and sat there and sat there. Huge estate sale for 3 days. Nobody picked them up. Nobody saw it. So don't be afraid to look. Don't be afraid to try. And don't be afraid to risk a little bit. You know, if you see something unusual, it's usually pretty cool. You can tell how they're hand painted. You can tell like a painted enamel. And that's pretty much what it is. So that's the story I have for you today. Hopefully that motivated you. Hopefully that inspired you to go out there and try to make some money. Because you just never know when the next treasure is sitting there right in front of your face. And you're going to say, wow, this is really cool. And you can take that money and you can just nothing like finding something and then finding out what it's really worth and the education. You're learning all about this stuff. That's so, so cool. So I love that. So again, if you have any questions at all, please leave it below as a comment. Send me a message. If you need any help with anything, I'll be glad to help you. Any other questions at all? I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to Talking eBay. Hope it wasn't too long. I hope it made it inspiring. I hope it made your day. And don't be afraid to go out there and try something new, because you never know what you're going to find out in the marketplace. I mean, I've always had a good feeling and a good idea about entrepreneurship. And if you want to learn how to be an entrepreneur, this is definitely the way to try and also learn. And that's what it's all about. And it was Murano glass, just so you know. That was the other one. I forgot. I just did quick research on my phone when I was talking to you. So it was Murano glass clowns, which I knew they really weren't worth a fortune. They were worth about $30, $40 a piece, but I got them for like 10. But the other ones are I thought they were very unusual, so I got them all, right? So I got a great deal. So that's it. All right, that's my story. Hopefully it inspired you to get out there and do some sourcing and make some money. Appreciate it as always. And this is Talking eBay Podcast. And I'll see you at the next one. And don't forget to watch all my other videos because they're really kind of cool and interesting, and you will learn something. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening.